Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Uh, Untamed. Wake up.
First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. You better wake up from this dream. Life is not what it seems. This culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we lose in the drug and infusing is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating.
Tell him,
What?
sir.
Change these front pages. From murder and death to building our wealth.
Definitely a wake up morning.
Milking the game till there's nothing left. And teaching my people to love themselves.
Need a little help, so we had to call Sherman in on it.
Commission, man, we tired of listening, so we said enough. Unification amongst us. Wake up, 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 wake up.
Time to wake up. Get on up. First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition is happening right now on this Friday, isn't it? Friday the 26th of September.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's Friday. Appreciate
Man.
that. And I appreciate all of you getting up early with us this morning on a Friday. Of course, since it's Friday, we definitely want to hear about what's going on this weekend. So if you got any events or anything happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday, besides the obvious,
Man.
I think the whole city gonna turn up. I've been talking to everybody about the parade that's about to drop. That's about to happen, man. Omaha's champ, Omaha's parade. Everybody I talk to from every side of town is like, yeah, we're gonna be out there.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Big day. It's a big day for Omaha. So
Historic day.
yeah, it is. It's historic all the way around in a big way, man. So yeah, let us know if you're gonna get out there, where you're gonna be at. We'll talk about it a little bit. Good suggestion by Clarice Dombeck about trying out some public transportation, because traffic gonna be ridiculous.
Man. Yeah,
Getting
shout out
out
to
there to that
Clarice.
parade. We'll be talking about it, but thanks for joining us this morning. Like we said, it's Friday, so we are ending out the week with a little Love Supreme Friday. As you saw earlier on, we have special guests coming in. We got Kimara Snipes coming through, who is just a powerhouse when it comes to sources, man. Like,
Man.
powerhouse. So when celebrating her as a and part of the news gang, coming with the receipts all the time. It's necessary because she's out on the front lines all the time, on top of her job. So
Man. News gang.
News gang. We'll be talking to her when she comes through. I see Mama Gawd in the chat giving us a good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming through. Judy Princess says happy birthday, Kimara. Yep, she's still in her party weekend going on. She's found time to get up in the morning and come through with us, even though she's in the midst of her big 50th, big 50 celebrations.
Celebration.
Good time to have her on. Mama Guy says, woke with the phone in hand, ready to chat with my first guy fam. I like that. She got bars too. I love. See,
Hey.
you got honest, but
hey, don't sleep. She a poet, man. Don't sleep on Mama Gawd.
Marla Harrison says, good morning, First Guy family, and happy TGIF, everyone. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Sue Kessler Hagen gives us a good morning. Thank you. Ariel's 402 says, top in the morning from Douglas, Wyoming. It's go home day.
Man,
Going
nice.
on back. Homecoming.
Sure the wife is excited.
Man. Drive safe, bro. Be safe on your travels for sure. It says he also says hit the like button. Man, Leia Keister in the chat. Good morning to you.
I think you need that old Friday yippee skippy.
You gonna give it to me? I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm tired, boss.
You need some brain activity.
I'll try the yippee skippies. Forgive me if I stumble. Happy fry yip yo yay yip yo yo yay yip yip yay yip yo yo.
There you go. My man with the Friday yippee skippy.
The Friday yippee skippies. Pops says good Friday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Good morning, Pops. Appreciate you getting up. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Man, good morning to all. Good morning to you, buddy. How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. Feeling all right. Went out to a show last night. Shout out to local up and coming star, Ashad, aka Shoddy Man. He had a show last night. Yeah, man. Hey, he's having some heads pull up to his show. I don't know if you know Beats by Jay Black, the cat you be seeing doing a lot of the finger drumming on the, he was out there, kind of super producer in his own right. Met a few industry executives, some managers. Like, so it's some eyes in the industry that's looking at looking at Shiny Man. So we talk about, it's not just about news, gang. It's not just about elevating voices in the community as far as telling our stories, but we also elevate our local artists, man. We all about that, man. So again, look out. He's on his way to becoming a household name, man. Shotty Man, shout out.
All right, man. Love Supreme Warrior, Shotty Man in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
house.
yeah. Hey, yeah.
That's what's up. I started that finger drumming, by the way, back in the day. So
Man, did you?
I'm proud of everybody that was pulling behind the man with it.
Taking your style, Paul.
Bro, that's real. I'm talking about my first drum machine, '87. That's how I made beats. Like anybody who's doing that stuff on even before the MPCs was the thing, you learned. So yeah, that's
You
my
might,
generation, bro. Like
yeah,
I'm really happy to see these cats out here still doing it.
yeah, you might be onto something. A lot of OGs I be around, they sample and chop, but that finger drumming.
Finger drumming. It's all there. So I'm low again. Okay, I appreciate you guys letting me know.
See, man?
Thanks, pops. We tested it out before too. We were like, we fine.
I hear
But
you loud and clear. But yeah, thank y'all for letting us know. I mean, you kind of tipped me off to it, man. But how you doing,
tired, boss. This was not the night for me to not get no sleep. So it's gonna be a
man?
long day today for me in a big way. But I'm gonna try to not pull a Michael Scott and sit here and nod off during the show.
Shout out to Michael Scott. Shout
Shout
out.
out to Michael Scott when he was on when we had the Michael and Michelle show in the morning at Mind and Soul. One day he was in the mid news, like, and then further in other news and this and something's happened. And I was like, "Is this man having a stroke in the studio?" Yeah, it just he got his doctor mixed up some medication or something like that. It had him nodding off, and I was like,
Man,
"Whoa, that was scary for
man,
a second, though.
let it
Scary
do
for a
to you.
second."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna try not to do that. I refrained from the sinus medication this morning, so I don't nod off. So
Mm.
I'm
Ah,
here. Yep. RG. I already did the yippee skippies. I ain't doing it again. So you're gonna have to go back, try it out yourself. welcome, RG in the house. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning. We got, of course, lots going on in the big news for Omaha. Of course, is the parade tomorrow.
man, it's
It's
going
going
down.
down September 8th.
Celebration.
Celebration. 9:30 a.m. Line up at 19th and Farnham. They're telling you where to go. So put the new flyer out here. This is from the mayor's office, matter of fact. So I'm happy about the roles that they're playing there on helping this get up and running. So
Man,
yeah, this is what's up, man. This is when I think about, like, we got a new mayor. This is the kind of stuff he's putting his attention on with that big way.
man, like in a big way. And I'm seeing the effort to get everybody involved. Shout out. Shout out.
Shout out. Also, like I mentioned before, Clarice Dombeck, who is what's her position? Transit Authority.
Yep, there you go. You got it.
Yep. She put out some posts and said this is a good time to test out some public transit. Says, are you going to the parade celebration, Bud Crawford, this Saturday? Yes. Well, you should take the bus. She says routes near the parade, route orbit 11, 13, 15, 18, 24, and 30 are all within block or two of the parade route. That's the way to go, bro. You don't want to be driving your car down there looking for a parking spot and getting out and walking blocks and blocks to get to the parade. So I thought that was pretty good idea as far as I'm concerned. If you're going down to the parade, you'll be standing out there anyway. You might as well leave the car at home, take the bus over for real. So shout out to her for doing that. Also, Kimra's in the chat already. He's giving us a good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
Just talked about you coming through
yeah.
for the discussion here.
You missed
She
the
says,
camera. You got a happy birthday earlier.
you did, yeah. We was talking about your celebration. I appreciate
Yeah.
you getting up early during your birthday celebration and
Yeah.
still finding time to talk about some important stuff. If I took a 3-day
Hey,
celebration,
that's what I'm doing.
you ain't gonna hear it from me until the 4th day. Pops in the chat said, Paul, you played the drum machine unlike anyone. Got attacked here real quick. Oh, hold on.
Oh man.
I'm gonna have to kill a fly around here. He said, you played them drum machine unlike anyone else ever. Instead of one sound at a time, you would play several at a time. It was amazing to witness, and you stunned your uncles. Didn't know this.
Man.
Thanks, Pops.
Man.
They put me in piano lessons at 2, 3, 4 years old. So I played the drum machine like I was playing keys on the piano. So I had all fingers going. I had toms hitting, cymbals, hi hats, bass, and snare all at the same time. So that's
Man.
probably why.
Man.
Yep. Kimmer in the chat says, I had the privilege of moderating a panel for the Open Sky Policy Institute yesterday with Charles and Clarice was one of the panelists. She's so amazing. Yeah, man, she's doing her thing, bro. Clarice is doing her thing. We'll definitely be talking about it. As a matter of fact, I think let's see, where was that at? Yeah, we got a little clip of her doing that
Yeah, oh
education
yeah,
talk about. We'll talk about that because she put in a good post out about some things that some information we need.
man.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys giving Clarice some big ups on this. Everybody put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha, commented on it. I saw this floating around, so yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate that very much. But we'll definitely talk about it. Linda Lathan in the chat, she says, "Don't don't you kill that fly." Yeah, for all the animal activists out there, I usually try to push them out the door.
Man.
I be killing them flies, bro. Try to hold you. RZ said BZ got locusts and cicadas flying around the mic. Yeah, man.
Man.
It's too early for all this. I told everybody I didn't slept last night, so come in here messing with me. But
Man,
that's all right.
might be your mind playing tricks on you.
Might be
Hey.
hallucinating that fly.
Yeah. Little
Y'all didn't
Bushwick
see nothing.
Bill.
Did you all see something? Or was it just me?
Nah.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming all through, man. We're gonna get through this. Like I said, my goal today is to not nod off on the show. So as long as I can stay awake, we'll be all good. But we got a lot to talk about because of our special guest. Like I said, Kimara Snipes
Yeah.
is coming through, and she be coming through every time she comes on here. There's too many things to talk about, and we always got to be like, we got to have you back because
Oh yeah. Oh
she
yeah.
be hitting it out. She be hitting all. That's boost to the roots for real.
Yeah, she like that skit on in Living Color with the Jamaicans. Too many jobs.
She got 5 jobs, man. She be everywhere.
5 jobs, man.
Yeah, that's real. So appreciate the treasure we have in Kimara Snipes, and we'll be talking to her real soon. But in the meantime, between time, I'll go ahead and jump into a little bit of community updates. A few other things going on besides the parade. Again, the parade is happening, man. Shout out to the champ. And like I said, I talked to many people from many different sides of town. Everybody's planning on being out here in a real way. Highly suggest you take the bus. Here's some of the bus routes: Orbit, 11, 13, 15, 18, 24, and 30, all within a block. Man, got to get down with it. Some of the other stuff that's going on here, of course, we got Untamed, the Untamed Summer. This is coming up, 20 weeks of summer fun. I think they're on like the 18th or 19th week, so this is about to
Man,
close out.
winding down.
Shout out to Sherman Wells with Untamed Summer every Sunday. So this is coming up as well. If you haven't had a chance to get out there, I highly suggest you do that before it closes down. They're only doing 20 weeks of summer, and I think they're on their 18th or 19th week, so it's coming to a close here. So shout out to Sherman, Assembly of the Saints. Looks like they're going to have Brianna White speak this time around, September 18th. So definitely come through 4 o'clock, and if you can always, and there's going to be food and all kinds of stuff there, but if you are so inclined, bring a pack of water or something like that for the kids, and they can always use more waters and drinks and stuff like that for the programs they do over there. So shout out to Untamed Summer, big time. Also, there's this movie coming up called The Librarians. This is some of the stuff that we're talking about is well into October. This is kind of the end of the month anyway, so the stuff that they're promoting right now is October. This is happening Thursday, October 9th at 6:30 at Film Streams. Ruth Sokoloff, the one downtown, kind of north downtown, has been popping with a whole bunch of stuff right now. So they partner with the Omaha Public Library, and they're doing this collaboration, which is going to be a pretty awesome film. Some of the stuff we'll talk about some of the subject matter and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, but definitely keep your eye out for this October 9th, 6:30 film stream special viewing of The Librarians. Definitely check that out. Also, speaking of special viewings, this is happening a little bit later on in October as well. Another film premiere that's going to be happening at Film Streams at the Dundee Theater. This is the Omaha premiere of My Omaha, by Nick Boulier. We're actually going to have him and Brother Leo Lewis on the show next week to talk more about this film. This is a trip because I remember back in the day when Nick was walking around filming Leo, and he's been following him around for years, really trying to put this thing together. He's finally put together. So
7 years.
from what I understand, it's a like they say up top, it's a staggering work. Don't expect answers, but expect to be moved.
Man.
Yeah, following the life of somebody living in Omaha, Leo Lewis, and all the work, some of the activity that he's doing, some of the things that's surrounding. We haven't been able to see it yet, but we're going to do a private screening before it happens so that we can talk to you more about it as it comes up. And like I said, we'll have our brother Nick and brother Leo Lewis on the show next week to talk about this. But get ready. This is going to be a powerhouse film. It's already getting some looks from some film festivals around the country.
Man, yeah, if you
So,
haven't seen the trailer, go check it out, man. The trailer is powerful in itself, especially just again following Leo for 7 years, meaning he captured the story leading up to Freedom Summer and since Freedom Summer, which is a very, very interesting story that needs to be told, but he's telling it through his lens. Again, very, very interesting. We've actually been speaking to Nick. We're going to try to get him and Leo here on the show very soon. So yeah, look out for that.
yeah,
Man.
like I was just saying, we're going to have them on the show next week. It's already confirmed.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Right on, man. My Omaha, definitely get ready for that. Also, our partners over there at House of Afro Capes and Curls. There's got AfroCon coming up October 7th and 8th. They did some stuff leading up to this, costume meetings and stuff like that to get your costumes together, all kinds of stuff they did coming up to this. But October 7th and 8th is finally going down. AfroCon is happening. This will probably be what, the fourth or fifth one? So they've been doing this
Yeah.
annually for a while, and this is dope. Making space the dream. It's an interesting theme this year. Since we're on season B3 ourselves, space is the place. So we'll definitely be connecting with them and maybe have somebody on to talk about what's going to happen in AfroCon this year as well. Shout out to House of Afro Capes and Curls. That's what's up. And then of course we got the brothers who's doing the Beyond the Stigma. That's coming up as well in actually today, tomorrow, September 27th. So I'm glad we caught this one because I love that the brothers are doing this. If you don't know what Beyond the Stigma is, it's a gathering of brothers that talk about mental health. They create a safe space to get together and kind of talk about their issues and their problems and support each other. And it's been growing over the last year in a big way. I think they do this monthly. So this is happening tomorrow from 3 to 5 at Assembly of the Saints. Sounds like it's gonna be, so that's, I think this is that after the parade. It'll be like after the parade. I think that's happening. So we'll definitely check that out. Shout out to Assembly of the Saints for hosting this as well, and shout out to Johnny No Good, man, brainchild behind this. Beyond the Stigma happening. So that's what's going on right now. We have a lot more happening. That we'll talk about a little later on in the show because we want to go ahead and jump into some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. But if you have any haps, anything that you got going on this weekend as well, tonight, anything Saturday night, Sunday, anything that you guys got going on that you think we need to take a look at or come and support, please let us know. You can leave it in the chat. And you can also put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha because that's where we can make sure that we have that conversation when we're not live, and make sure we talk about all the things. So
Man.
appreciate that, and like I said, just can't wait to hear from you on that for sure. Real quick in the chat, I see Carol Warner in the chat saying good morning to you. RG says those dates right. The flyer from 2023. Is that what? We got the wrong flyer up. Let me see. Where's the Stigma flyer at? Which one are you talking about from 2023?
Or is it talking about AfroCon?
Oh, it's maybe.
It does definitely says
It
2023.
does say 2023. Okay, all right. We pulled this from their. It was the one that was up on the page, so we'll have to go check that out. But it is coming up, so we'll get the date on that. Thanks, RG, for catching that. Appreciate that very much. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you joining us this morning. And once again, you're here with us today on a Friday. It is Friday, the 26th of September. Man, I am tired, boss, and I'll tell you what, we're gonna try to hold tight this whole show, so bear with us.
He tired, boss.
I'm so glad Kimara's coming on.
Man.
Yeah, but before we do that, let's jump into what the thread of the day was. What did you put together for us today, buddy? What's happening?
Yeah, continuing the conversation really that we had on Monday, talking about the youth and what's going on. Again, some statistics came out earlier this week. Actually, we talked about a little bit on Wednesday as well, as far as some of the numbers coming from Monday's student council meeting. Again, has been reported on some of the disciplinary numbers. Again, we talked about racial disparities on Wednesday, and also shout out to Sister Cleese Brownbeck. Paul kind of shared the picture earlier as she made a testimony, if you will, at the city council meeting, which again, putting these things together, because as you might learn here on the show, all of it's connected. What we like to call the thread here on the show, and bringing up a term that actually learned from our friend Amy at Heart Ministries, the cliff effect, which we're going to talk about as far as, again, families not really getting the help that they need, although, again, they're doing the work. Actually, very, very interesting. Big shout out. Speaking of continuing the conversation on Friends of First Guy Omaha, shout out to Miss Erica Felt, chat chimer and friend of First Guy Omaha, and part of the news gang, content creator camp alumni, putting us on to a very interesting story. This situation going on with TANF. Apparently, the Trump administration has tapped Nebraska as one of 5 states for a TANF pilot program. And if you remember, our partners over at The Reader did some reporting on the TANF program back in the day. Again, millions of dollars just sitting in the coffers, supposed to be going to families, but just sitting there. And now the Trump administration is tapping Nebraska with a new pilot program. Got to watch the money. Where is this going to go? What's going to happen with it? Definitely want to talk about that. But not just stopping there. Of course, shout out to Channel 7 for an update on the grand jury situation. Brother Stephen Phipps, again, looking at what's going on with that situation, as well as what's going on with the Department of Justice request for voter registration information. Apparently, the Department of Justice has chimed up and is applying pressure to states who are, again, states who are refusing to send this information, and kind of going along with what is the Trump administration doing. Again, an update on that situation, and what are they doing versus what they're not doing. And what they're not doing is making it easy for these states. So we talked about how the Trump administration's policies have impacted Nebraska. Again, farmers are speaking up about how their bottom line has been impacted, but now a report is coming out that half the states in the country don't have enough money to cover their bills. It's been reported by Nebraska Examiner. So again, very interesting situation, and it's all wrapping up into what society are we raising our children in? Again, corruption at the top, dysfunction in our leadership. What is going on with the children? Again, shout out to Sister Kimara Snipes. She will be joining us as well to kind of dive into that. Of course, she cares deeply about the children, works as a school board member, but she has many, many hats. Of course, executive director of One Omaha, and just all around good person, man, and the birthday girl. So again, looking forward to speaking to her as well, and tying all of these stories together, because again, we're talking about the cliff effect. We're talking about the environment in which we're raising our children. I also want to talk about, speaking of environments, Sister Lavanya Goodwin's town hall. I see you, Camera. Definitely would love to hear more information on that as well. So again, we'll be here for the next 2 hours talking about it all. And of course, if there's anything that we're not talking about and you feel like we're missing the mark, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, we're tuning time. Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, appreciate everybody coming in this morning. Black Dynamite gives us a good morning, y'all. It's Friday. We made it. Heard that. Also, Anthony Rogers right in the chat, breaking down what TANF is. Appreciate you, and good morning to you as well. Also, got that information from AfroCon, the right information this time. It is 2025. That this is AfroCon 2025. It says the first line this time, and this is happening Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, AfroCon is an all-day affair. If you haven't got your costumes and stuff ready for AfroCon, definitely look into it and get ready. AfroCon gets down. It's going to be at Metropolitan Community College again at Fort Campus at the Kate Building. So this is where they've had it the past few years. Definitely check into this. We'll put this updated information on Friends of First Guy Omaha, and definitely check into AfroCon if you have any inclination to hang out with a different group of folks that you don't usually hang out with. She's gathering some people with some specific areas of entertainment that they like and get down on. So I think this is cool. This is it was kind of for black nerds, what she was calling blurds.
Yep.
For a while, and it's still for that, but everybody else has found that it's cool too, and they've been coming in, so it's pretty diverse event. But it is a safe space for you to come nerd out on your superhero stuff and everything else. It's pretty dope. I have a good time every time, and it's not just about like Comic-Con type of stuff either. A couple years ago, she had the Illuminarium had a setup there, and they showed 3D worlds and stuff like that. They had all kinds of stuff going on about science and not just the entertainment side of things. So definitely check out AfroCon 2025. Like I said, I'll put this in Friends of First Guy Omaha, and there you have it. Right now, 7:24 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back in, and we'll jump into some of these stories before we get to our special guest. Again, you're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God.
Hey.
All of you. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to God. Little finger drumming on that track right there for you.
Hey.
Working it out. Got some muscles in these fingers.
Yeah.
You working it out. Working it out with you. Appreciate you guys coming back in. Thank you. Fun Fest is going down Saturday, October 18th, 2025 from 5:30 to 7:30. A little quick 2-hour celebration during happy hour. It's going down. Invitations have gone out and people have already started registering. So if you want to check this out, you can. Let's get it moving. Get it moving. You go over to the First Sky Omaha page, and there's an event over there that you can check out. And if you need a link, let us know. And check your inboxes because some invitations went out for this, and we're getting excited. It's going down. Buddy will be in town. It'll be a celebration. Yep. With that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the first subject. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Man, well, I want to set it up, man. If you're new to the show, or if you're a frequent listener, and maybe you forgot what it is that we do here at First Sky Omaha, I'm gonna throw a word at you: contextualization. I know it's kind of early, so I'm gonna repeat it. Contextualization. Again, we have these conversations in an attempt to put it in a context. Again, to kind of share our point of view and share our point of view in hopes that maybe you can echo that point of view or share yours, and we can reach a common point of view to have a common understanding of what's going on. And today, what I want to contextualize is the youth. This conversation around the youth, what's going on. And there's several angles to it, but what I am seeing and what I'm getting at is a disillusionment, from our youth. And again, one of the bigger things that we're seeing happening on our national scale, of course, conversations about gun violence in communities. And again, I'll start with the town hall from Councilwoman Goodwin, which again, gun violence and gang prevention was one of the issues that were brought up. Again, shout out to Sister Kimara, who asked the question. If you did not see the town hall, there are videos available on Friends of First Sky. Shout out to Sister Kimara and Cheryl Weston for sharing their clips. And if anybody was there, I would love to hear your take on the situation as well. But again, it is dawning on me that is again common thread, that conversation as far as what's going on with our youth violence. That is through kind of all levels. When you talk about locally what's going on, all the way up to the federal level, or where you see Donald Trump willing to mobilize National Guards on cities like Chicago, Memphis, DC, because of what he's calling a violence problem. So again, what I am seeing is a disillusionment, and I will, kind of lay out why I'm seeing that. Starting with, again, this town hall meeting. And again, big shout out to Sister Kimara. We will be having her on a little later on. She says, look, Vanya Goodwin had a town hall last night. And if you remember, Sister Goodwin was connected, if you remember, a couple years ago before this last Omaha Days, the billboard that went up on 24th. And just the rhetoric around our youth and the youth violence and what's going on. And again,
tell us about the billboard.
Yeah, if you don't remember, again, it was a billboard. I forget exactly what it said, but if you remember, that was the year we had a couple shootings during Omaha Days, and it was you kind of, the word that you use a lot was paternalism. Like it didn't really echo the sentiment of the people. It was kind of more of a paternal.
It was kind of a pull up your pants type of of a billboard. Be, stop the violence, stay safe. It was a pretty generic message about just keeping the north side clean and crime free, but it just came across to a lot of people in the community as paternal, as a kind of like, it's our responsibility it's our responsibility to deal with every systematic thing that goes on in our for our neighborhoods. And it didn't bode well. I actually did a interview with her when she was running for city council, and asked her about it.
Mhm.
According to her, she said that billboard made a big difference on cutting some of the crime down, and gave me some numbers even. And at the time, I thought, we'll have to talk to her about this later. But that was definitely a big part of it. But she's established herself as somebody who is big time wanting for wanting the streets to be clean, for crime to be gone, for curfews to happen and not stay out late on the deuce on the block, because she wants the north side to be is just as accessible and cool to come to as any other sides of town. And that was kind of what I got from speaking to her during that interview. So that's where she stood, and that's I just want to kind of reiterate what happened there with that billboard. Kind of set the tone for us understanding where she's coming from with how she wants to make changes on the north side.
And again, this is my point is less about her and her stance and more about the general conversation that's being had about the youth. And again, I do appreciate Anthony Rogers Wright kind of clarifying some things in this conversation as well. He says, do we have to contextualize what we mean by our youth and youth in general?
Mm,
Just saying the youth of Turning Point USA are not disillusioned at all. They are
mm,
energized, mobilized, and organizing their butts off. And to that point, I think Mama Gawd made a comment in the chat last episode talking about Turning Point USA possibly making its way to chapters in high schools across the nation. So I do appreciate that point. And you are right. When I say the youth, I'm talking about Black, brown youth. Let's be clear.
mm,
Let's be clear who I'm talking about. The
mhm.
same youth that they're talking about, when they talk about all this violence.
Right.
Look at what happened in DC. Who were they rounding up? Young Black kids. That is what is happening. And again, I appreciate your comment as well, Maggie Miller Jenkins, talking about disillusionment, saying the youth are exhausted, bored, and honest in ways adults refuse to be. When we are honest about our world, it's a sad place, and the youth see it. And again, as usual, the chat kind of going along and seeing the thread that I'm kind of laying. Again, very very interesting, and I will enter into this conversation the Cliff Effect, which again, big shout out to our friend Amy over at Heart Ministry Center, who kind of talked to us and kind of tipped me off to, I was aware of the reality, but again, tipped me off to the situation. Again, we've been talking about homelessness here throughout this season. Again, space is the place, looking at housing and but again, not just housing, but just space in general, the environment that you are growing up in, the environment that you are trying to flourish in. And again, how many of these people struggling in these situations are youth? Again, what are the children seeing and what are they responding to? So again, big shout out to Sister Clarice Dombeck, who again spoke up at City Council and kind of illustrated very very eloquently what we're calling the Cliff Effect. Again, she breaks down some hard hitting numbers as to what some children may be dealing with. Again, we're talking about families needing support and people just out here struggling. Again, some of the numbers that she hit us with: you need to make $20 an hour to afford a 1-bedroom apartment in Omaha. You need to make $24 an hour to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. Over 65,000 households in Omaha are rent burdened. That's 700 units of housing is needed for individuals making 46,000 and below every year. Black folks make up 7.5% of the population of Douglas, Sarpy, and Pottawatomie counties, but represent 27.5% of the homeless population. She says, if you want more education on housing justice issues, if you want to take action in our community, or if you want to be in community with a diverse group of people working to create a better Omaha, reach out to our senior campaign organizer, Clarice Dombeck. So again, shout out to Sister Clarice, who again spoke at the recent city council meeting, talking about the housing situation and some of the housing that we've seen. And again, echoing what, really Brother Anthony Rogers Wright has been trying to illustrate as well, as far as there's no such thing as affordable housing if people aren't getting the jobs to afford it. Again, 7,000 units in need for families making under 46,000, which there's a lot of families making $46,000 and less. You know,
Right.
I think that's actually the median income, close to the median income of Omaha.
Right. She was Miss Dombeck was speaking on behalf of the redress movement, which I
Hmm.
highly suggest you go check out as well. Do some research on that. You can always hit her up if you know her on Facebook or wherever, and get some information on that. But redress is trying to do something about this, and that's the reason why she got up and spoke. So definitely check that out. We'll put some information in Friends of First Sky Omaha on the redress movement.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And you know, I myself would like to learn more about that. But as far as again addressing this gap, we've talked about the predeterminants of crime, and I really need to hammer it home as far as you know, really bringing the reason for bringing that up. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you listening are aware, but let's you know really explore it. You know, talk about the issues that are creating the problems that and what really get ourselves in the mind state of the children. Kind of goes back to the conversation we are having about you know looking at them, acknowledging them on the streets when we see our youth and how we treat our youth and what um role are we giving them to play in our society.
Big time.
And again, to the whole Turning Point USA situation, I've kind of made this comment before as far as young Republicans and you know that side of political ideology having a role for their youth. They have stuff for the youth to do, and they have no problem popping Charlie Kirks out of nowhere.
They called for 1 million more during his memorial or whatever they have.
Yeah, yeah, and recently you've seen them being mobilized on HBCU campuses. I don't know if you saw the master debaters rolling up on HBCU campuses, but they were there, red hats ablazing. So yes, I appreciate that point. Marianne Williams in the chat says it's true. TPUSA youth are energized. They have been for years, but don't forget the youth have also been energizing against them and have kept them out of most campuses all those years too.
Wow.
Which there were
I'm
some
glad,
individuals there to respond.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm also glad. I also appreciate you posting what you did in Friends of First Sky Omaha about what happened at what went down at UNL,
Yeah.
where they were where some kids were some students were coming out to do um, losing my words. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm very tired this morning. They were coming out to honor Trey Reed,
Mm-hmm.
who just got who got basically killed, murdered, strung up in a tree. Tried to act like it was suicide. But a lot of students came out, and I appreciate you bring this to our attention. A lot of students came out for a vigil for him. That's what the word I was looking for, a vigil.
Mm-hmm.
And it was as you can see a very mixed, diverse crowd of people coming out honoring him in the light of everything that's going on here. So I appreciate that, and you're it's tapping into exactly the reason why you posted that, which was this spirit of there are people fighting back against this stuff too. It's not just there's other people that are also getting fired up for other reasons, and a lot of times we get fired up in a reactionary way. That's still needed as well, but I think that what's also needed is to give everybody else something to do as well and get them fired up proactively, and help that. So just a thought on how does we move. A lot of times we always have to be in defense,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't just let we don't just let everything run over us. We are in defense all the time, but maybe it's time to get on a little bit more offense.
Well, I mean, to your point, the youth, certain youth have been on the offense. I'm thinking back to the Trump rally in Tulsa that the youth completely derailed. Again, if you remember, Trump was supposed to have a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
If you remember that, and again, the attendance was poor because the youth, they got activated, they got online, they bought tickets and didn't show up.
Yeah. Something you just reminded me about too last week. We didn't really talk too much about it, but they're declaring the Charlie Kirk Day on his birthday, which happens to coincide with George Floyd's birthday.
Yeah,
And
they were
I
on the
also
same
saw
day.
a lot of people chiming up about how they were going to be specifically celebrating the George, making it George Floyd Day instead of Kirk Day. So there's a lot of people that are pushing back in the other direction for real. For whatever rhetoric you hear out there, for whatever propaganda you're being subject to, there's a lot of people coming back, reacting, and trying to fight that on the other side. So
Yeah, and I do appreciate you bringing up the situation that happened at UNL, because going to my point, the youth see that. The youth they're not stupid. Like they see the emphasis put on and how the reporting behind Charlie Kirk unfortunately losing his life, and how it's bare like it's almost a chore. You have to make it a point to bring up Trey Reed.
right, yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah, and you see it. You see it. Not only do they see that, but they see these police shootings. Again, this coming out of Channel 7. This is something that I hadn't really thought about in this situation, but again, talking about the death of young brother Phipps and how that might impact his classmates and friends and other youth. Kind of shared how my friend getting his arm. I've never had well, I ain't gonna say never. I've had some run-ins with the police, but as far as being brutalized,
Hmm.
I remember how I was impacted by seeing my friend have his arm broken by police in the 6th grade.
That's crazy. Just break a little kid's arms. That's
Yeah. But again, an
uh,
update on this situation from Channel 7. Again, a grand jury is hearing the arguments on this case. Again, it is state law that grand jury cases preside over any incidents of shooting deaths by Omaha police. Actually, the 28th, which will be Sunday, I believe, will make a year since Brother Phipps lost his life at the hands of Omaha police. But again, do you see this? So, kind of my question is, what are we giving them to work with? And it's kind of a question I've been asking. Like, what is there for them to do?
yeah. Well, we asked that question. There's a lot. We uncovered a lot of stuff that goes on. Of course, we partner with people like the Black Agenda Alliance that have programs, and there's a lot of programs out there, and uh, really there's a lot of programs out there for kids. There's not a whole lot of programs out there for families. I think family support is something that we need to talk back about again
So we're gonna be
in a
talking
big
about
way.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So there you go. In the chat, real quick, I just want to give a shout out. Anthony Rogers Rice says, "Prop to Colin Kaepernick for paying for the autopsy independent investigation. Cap still giving back to his people despite what happened to him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he never got back on the field yet, and he's still trying to do something. So shout out to Cap." Also, Marianne Williams said, "I was so happy to see the vigil for Trey, a positive light in this darkness for sure." Marlon Harrison says, "Sticking with the theme of this season, we also need to talk about more third spaces when it comes to our youth. Third spaces are very important for our youth, not just for after school, but to hang out." Said, "Growing up, we had Hope Skate Land, the mall, and youth nights at YMCA." Yeah, yeah, and many more things around. I believe back in the day, they definitely took away a lot of things that there was for kids. But again, there's always, we're in a new era too. Like my like people. I got some little ones in my family that go out there to the jump houses and all that, where
Yeah,
you
yeah. My kids love that.
trampoline spots and all that. I mean, there's things for. I mean, we got the luminarium. There's things for kids to do, but I think what we're talking about sometimes is things that kids can go do on their own, and also things that parents can take kids to go do too. And if the parents don't have time, a lot of times it's tough, because sometimes you need it to be able to have your kids be able to go do stuff on their own as well. So I think of programs, places to go, things to do. It costs money, number one,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
is tough. Costs time for the parents, which is tough. And then when
Especially when
you
they
let
got
the
two
kids
jobs.
go do stuff on their own, sometimes you got some issues and some problems there because there's not enough supervision there as well. It's a multi-tiered problem in a big way, and I think that it's an ongoing conversation about what it is we can do. Buddy talks about what is there to do for the kids a lot, and I immediately go to what support do the parents have to do stuff with the kids. I was just talking to a friend the other day about her boys are in football. I'm like, how many times she got to drive around, how many games, how many practices. It's like a full-time job, bro. A lot of people don't have the ability to do that, and it's real tough. But we have to keep on talking about it, keep on trying to come up with solutions and ideas for this as well. And I'm glad we got educators like Marlon Harris in the chat, And I'm glad we got our next guest, our special guest coming up. They've been doing stuff with the kids all the way back in the library days and beyond. So we'll go ahead and bring her in and see what she got to say on this subject. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, birthday girl, the princess.
Hey. She got
I didn't even see that tiara before I said princess.
Represent. Happy birthday, sis. Happy birthday.
You, I appreciate it.
Hey.
I'm
Yeah.
at a different scooter today. It's a different sort of situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
into this.
Different
Anyway,
scooters today, huh? Okay.
yeah.
All
By my
right.
house, I gotta be somewhere 8:30, so it's very near to here.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us so early on your birthday and on your busy schedule. Thank you. Thank you.
Because I love y'all. I just told
Yeah.
somebody in here, I said, just so you know, I'm gonna be over here talking a whole lot, so I hope I don't get on your nerves. I said they got me up at 7:45 a.m. on my birthday. I said they know I love them.
Oh yeah, that's love. That's love. So thank
That's
you.
love.
Thank
You
you.
tell them to talk to us if they got a problem with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's jump right in because I know you got limited time. We were just coming off this subject about the youth and about what is there for the kids to do, what can we do, and I know you got a lot to say on this. First
Oh
off,
yeah. Oh yeah. It's interesting because I still go to the Charles B. Washington branch library that I used to work at. And Amy, the branch manager, we were just talking about the kids because it's a whole new set of kids now, but it's still the same issue. So you know what I'm saying? It's just something that's consistently been happening. Like I said, when I got to the library, these kids were already coming there. So this has been an issue for a long time. And like I said the other day, some of them are unhoused and maybe not necessarily sleeping on the streets, although some probably are, but sleeping from place to place. Nothing about that is safe. And imagine being a teenager and not having something consistent in your life. Like, keeping a notebook was something that was special to a kid back then. The ones I was working with, I knew if that kid still had that notebook I gave them, he really wanted that. You know what I'm saying?
right?
So yeah, there's not a lot for them to do. And like I said, also like, when the program shut down, I'm not saying it was Kimara. I'm saying when the program shut down, meaning they did not have this space that they could be. 3 of my babies been arrested for homicides. So I mean, it tells you right there how much, as y'all talk about space is the place, it shows you how much a space can make a difference. And it's the library. I was talking to Amy, and I'm gonna call Chaplain Ron. If you know who he is, he used to be with U-Turn. Now he works at DCYC. Chaplain Ron, the truth, he's been out here for forever. I used to have him come up and just walk through and holler at the young men because I'm saying there's only so much I can do as a woman with these young men. You know what I'm saying? And so I used to have him come up there, and I'm gonna call him and see can he start sliding through there again because it's just so many kids coming up there again. There's still some who used to be up there. I went up there yesterday. One of the young men was there, came over there, gave me a big old hug, But yeah, that she needs some help up there with those young people. There's a young lady who works there who I know from another community I belong to, and she's security there. One of them punched her in the head. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, they be up there fighting. I can't tell you how many times I had to break up a fight,
At the
and that's
library?
dangerous. Oh. Yes, I saw the police between my neighborhood and the library. I was seeing the police so much that I started to have panic attacks. Okay, that's how much I was seeing the police, and this started in 2019.
Man.
Because they have a roving police officer at the library. And there was a roving police officer who was the one responsible for those 14 police coming up to the Omaha Public Library and jumping on one of my babies, who, by the way, is one of the 3 who ended up getting arrested for a homicide later on. And he was 15 at the time that happened.
Babies.
What do you think? What do you think? When I think about kids these days going up to the library, sounds like unless there's some special programming going on by somebody special like you, I don't see them thinking about the library as a space that
Well,
they want to go hang out at. You know what I'm saying?
so the library has a teen room. They got the big screen, they got the video games, they got the computers. You know what I'm saying? They got things that the kids want to do. On top of that, they got air conditioning, you know, when it's hot outside.
Wow.
Sometimes, you know, yeah, now, you know, the library on Ames, when it comes to circulation, there are things that move within that space. You know, books isn't the most thing that moves. It's really the DVDs that has the most circulation at that particular library.
Hmm.
But yeah, when I was up there, we used to have little tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Go hook up the video game to the big screen and there, the movie screen, and they in there playing video games. It's really more so just making sure that they're being respectful in there, not being too loud, you know. And they still have a program for them up there too called, I think it's called Spark, where they you know, they can't continue what Kimmer did clearly,
Mm.
but they bring people in to talk to the young people, and so that's still good. And they've had me come in and talk to them. They've had other people as well. Y'all would be good to go in there if you want to. Just drop into the library, ask for Miss Amy, tell her Kimera sent you, and say you want to be one of the people to come talk to the young kids. And I think, but there is they were telling me that, you know, within the library, some of y'all know how I feel when it comes to some leadership within that space. I think they're doing a little something different with programming, but we do have a different mayor now, you know, and stuff trickles down from the top. So maybe they can have some influence there. And the library also has a board of directors.
Hmm.
So, and people can also apply to be on that board of directors. And because we do have a different mayor now, maybe there's different chances. It's not just the same old type of people who end up on these boards and commissions.
Right, right. But I think while the library serves as a space, you to Paul's point, we don't necessarily think of traditionally a library as like the location to save these children and the services, or even librarians being equipped
No,
to do that kind of work.
no,
And I kind of want to get to the larger conversation. This document that you sent us, this Place Matters study, which talks about, you know, the larger scheme as far as, again, as you see on your screen, communicating the relationship between place, racism, and early childhood development. Because again, these children aren't just being born like this; they're dealing with traumas, they're dealing with certain circumstances that are out of their control, that drive them to
yeah,
where they are. Can you
yeah.
kind of speak to that study and just that larger
No,
conversation? Oh,
because I just
okay,
saw space and I was like, oh, this sounds like something good for Buddy and Paul. Let me send it to him. No,
okay, okay.
I didn't read it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I shared it. I said, this ain't my lane. Let me go ahead on and send this to them. Yeah.
Well, it kind of is your lane. Again, you're one of the main people that talk about neighborhoods, and
Yes,
again,
yes.
and we're talking
Okay,
about
so maybe I
environment.
should have read it, but I
You
didn't.
read it, please do,
I'm sure
Okay,
you will.
okay,
please do.
okay.
But
I'm reading so much stuff right now. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna send this to them. I did not read it.
I mean,
That's
I
okay.
appreciate it because it definitely helped with today's conversation and just, you know, where the thread is going. Particularly, there are three core ideas that comes out of this study. For those who are interested, the study was something that was put together by Frameworks, the Frameworks
Mhm.
Institute, in
Which I
partnership
love
with
them.
in partnership with the Center on Developing Child, or the Center, or excuse me, Center on the Developing Child. And again, the three core ideas of this project is the idea of the impact between place and child development. Again, place shapes early childhood development. Children's development beginning before birth is affected by the places they live, grow, play, and learn.
Yes, yes,
Young
yes,
children are
yes.
highly sensitive to influences from their built and natural environments. The conditions of these places can have both positive and negative effects on early childhood development, along with lifelong health and well being. The conditions in the places where children develop are deeply impacted by public policies. Places have been designed by policy decisions made over time, and they can be redesigned to support healthy development and create neighborhoods free of hazards and rich with opportunity for all children. So again,
Yeah, you're
especially
right.
in your wheelhouse as
Yeah,
a policymaker, and as a board member of OPS, who's dealing directly
yeah.
with our youth. Again,
Well, absolutely. And you know what it also speaks to is the fact that, you know, so we talk about behaviors in OPS, right?
yep,
Which definitely there's issues that exist. And what I try to get across to community is that, like, you know, teachers are doing what they can. Um, Now, I will say, and I've told the district this numerous times, that there needs to be cultural sensitivity training within the district, just point blank, period. But this stuff is a result of things happening outside of the school. you know. And so that's where the supports are needed in these spaces where these kids are outside of the school. And I saw it at the library. Like these parents need help. But anyway, go ahead.
That's just something that Heather Williams said too in the chat just now. Said when I lived across the street from Washington Branch, most of these babies were on the run from foster care.
Mm.
They were hungry and just wanted a good night's sleep. Those are the children that really need help.
Mm.
Some other.
Ain't lying. And that's why, so when I work at the library, thank God they had, it sounds funny, but they had, they had like an OPL store for like staff, and I would purchase these pizza cards. So every week I changed, when I got to the library, they had anime club once a month. So I started Team Talk About, and we did it weekly, and I would use those pizza cards and I'd go get like 12, 13 pizzas, and just be feeding the kids. I'm sitting at home with them, anything I could, because she ain't lying. Them babies was hungry.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? It's kind of reminding me, like, I'm only 32. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't 15, 16 that long ago. And it's kind of dawning on me now that a part of the reason that I do what I do now is hearing the stories of my friends and not knowing what to tell them, not knowing how to help them. I've had nights where I let friends sleep in my car, just chilling with them. I'll, you know what I'm saying? Or I spent the night on a friend's porch, just being around them because I know they don't have nobody else.
How horrible
And
is
even
that?
I'm thinking in my life, beyond my mom, who can I really rely on? Even at 32.
I got your back, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on.
How many
I know.
people are just a couple of bad decisions away from being the person I just passed up coming up here on 13th Street? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And again, I mentioned the cliff effect earlier with Sister Clarice Donbeck because again, I'm painting this picture that what people are dealing with. I don't think some people don't really know what people are dealing with.
Well, I told you. So Northeast Precinct, a police precinct. Back in the day, they had the captain. His name was Captain Matuza, and so I'll be going to 360 every week, and constantly hearing people talk about police community relationships. But I'm from South Omaha. You know what I'm saying? Where police community relationships are a little bit different, okay? Because things have happened in South Omaha, namely Jimmy Wilson, right? So I'm like, I don't know that what I see is police community relationships. That's the reason why I started my national night out that we did over in South Omaha, and I started inviting Captain Matuza to come to my group with my kids every week. And at first, my kids was looking at me sideways, like, "Why you got this dude up in here?" You know what I'm saying? But over time, you build relationship with people, which is very important, and you need space to do that, right? Everything can't be virtual. Sometimes you have to physically be around people. You got to see how they move. You know what I'm saying? You got to see who they talking to, all these different things. And so Captain Matuza started coming, and shoot, by the time we done, what's up, Cap? You know what I'm saying? Now we have relationship built and they understand each other. And I remember seeing Matuza after the library was closed. I was actually at Scooters one day. He came in there and I hadn't seen him in forever. And he was the one who brought Roscoe in there. But he was like, Kimara, he said, if you had never brought me in there, I would have never known what these kids was going through. And that's what he said. We're going to stop this. Y'all going to have me up in here crying on my birthday. Not today.
You already cried on your birthday.
I know.
I know. We know you. Mama God in the chat is saying, Kimmer, this is facts. If severe trouble can be 1 month paycheck wrong move away in a real way.
I'm telling you.
We're especially vulnerable when the kids, especially vulnerable on that.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour speaking to Kimara Snipes, who is a school board member. She's a executive director at One Omaha as well, and a very sensitive soul who is who is an empath. And we love you, and we love you for that. There's not a lot of people out here that feel much anything anymore and seem like they actually care about anything anymore. So we appreciate you for that. First and foremost, I don't know if people tell you that enough. You always are trying to cover up your crying, and this is the reason why we love you, that you care this
Well, I
much.
like to do it in the shower. Y'all don't need to be all about this.
You need to give me that scene right there. I'm trying
Hey, hey, it's your birthday. You can cry if you want to.
to.
You right. Jesus wept, so can I.
There you go. There you go.
We again, like, we coming up on the 8 o'clock hour. More a little bit more of the conversation because we know you got to go soon, and
No, I'm good.
I wanted to make sure that you are that we pivot a little bit because we're talking about this, what the kids can do. You talked about outside of school, but we need to talk about inside of school too, because you have called us out several times about how much we do not talk about education.
Can I just say something, please? And I said a lie about this other day. I do not blame y'all. It is the culture that we are in. This is the reason why we talk about how teachers don't get paid enough,
Man,
right? This is the reason why if you're on the Metro board or the OPS board or any other board in Nebraska, you get nothing, but you can be on the OPPD board and get $500 a month,
right,
right?
right,
That's the reason why. So it's the culture that we're in. So it's not your fault. We're conditioned like that. That's the
that's
reason
right.
why when I got to school board, wasn't nobody coming until COVID happened and people got pissed off about mask and CRT, which we wasn't even doing. But
And
anyway,
that's why
so
they
I'm
showed
not
up,
mad at
right?
y'all. I still love y'all to pieces, but I do remember I was on the show. I went back and watched. I said, dang. So yeah, but I love y'all. I love y'all. I love
But here's
y'all.
the thing: we are absolutely not interested in this. This is what struck me about it, is just like, listening to you. I mean, we trust you and your advice. So, like, we might be sitting over here thinking we talking enough about it. Actually, we don't really think we talk enough about everything, but
That
in
part.
general,
That part.
we feel like we give it enough attention. But if you say we're not, then we're not. And it's because, and what I'm thinking about it is that, everything kind of circles back to, even though we're talking about what to do for kids outside of school, we also need to talk about what to do for kids inside of school. Education is obviously the answer for getting out of poverty, for so many different things. And there's me so much support from the village that has to happen in order to get kids educated, in order to get kids through all these hard years and so on. And now that you're in the role that you're in with the school board, and because you're still in the fight, you're doing the same things you were doing at the library, but now you're doing it on the school board level, and you're still putting yourself on the front line for it too. I definitely want to acknowledge that part, the front line stuff that you talked about in your live. The way that you just described, people don't even come to the school board meetings until they want to come and fight about masks and all this mess, and get up in people's face and tell them that they better vote yes on stuff or there's going to be consequences and all the mess. So tell me about tell me about why you feel like education is this important, and why you put your body on the front line for this.
You know, when I ran for school board, it was because of the things my son was going through. I had been in the hospital, for a month
Hmm.
and communicated. Grandma Harris, who I talk about all the time, who ain't my grandma, but I went and stayed with her when I got out the hospital for almost 2 months, and her
Mm,
family was communicating with, the school, and I get to the point where I can at least be on a walker, to go to the parent teacher conference, and they don't know nothing, and my son is like failing. But y'all didn't know that his mother was laid up in the hospital, but we're communicating. Like, where's the disconnect, right?
Hmm.
I was also part of the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, and this space that I was in, my school board representative was coming every month, So I'm talking to her. I'm letting her know what's going on. I'm saying, we live 4 miles away from the school, and I can't get on the bus. Somebody from the school got to take one of the vans and come to the projects and pick up a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? Because can't nobody over here get on the bus, and we almost 4 miles away. So I'm fussing all the time, and going to Sona. So when she got ready to be done, she was like, Kimmer, I think you should run. So that's how that
Hmm.
happened. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it came from a space of just being an advocate, and she saw something in me that she thought would be good on that board.
Mm.
Um, I forgot the rest of the question you asked me.
Just about why about the importance of it for you. You put yourself on
Yeah,
the
I
front
mean,
lines
think
that way.
about it. Our kids are some of our kids are at school more than they at home when
Yeah,
they not
7 hours a day
when
plus.
they not sleep. This is the workforce of the future. This is the doctors of our future. These are people who might be your boss in the future. You know what I'm saying? These are our kids and our babies, and we just want them to do well in the future. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? the public school system is where they're supposed to get the foundation for all of that. So you have this board of people who are elected, what I'm saying, who are making decisions, not necessarily decisions people think we make, because as board members, our role, which is actually very specific and they consistently remind you of it, is to one, hire that superintendent and also evaluate them, make sure they doing what they supposed to do, because they're the ones who are responsible for all that staff and administration. They don't report to me. The only
Mm-hmm.
person who reports, not even me, us, is the superintendent. Two, we set policy. We have a policy committee. Nick Thielen, who was on the school board, he is the chair of that policy committee.
Mm.
Um, and then we also set the budget. Jeannie Magnuson, who is new to the board, she is the chair of that committee, and I sit on the budget committee. And I also sit on the legislative committee, which Jane Erdenberger is the chair of.
Man, shout out to Miss Erdenberger.
So you got all these people making all these decisions, you know what I'm saying? And so, we as board members, that's our responsibility. And, I don't know. I mean, it's like, why do you need, not to y'all, but to like people in general, like, how do we not understand the importance of education? And I'm trying to figure out where the disconnect is, to where the only time people show up is when they're angry and upset.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my son was in middle school, and I went up there to the open house because it was seventh grade. He started seventh grade, and I remember saying, I'd like to meet my son's counselor, right? They said, oh, she's over there. So I walk over there, and I'm walking up to the table, and I'm walking to the table. She's looking at me like, and I'm like, did I do something? Like, what's going on, And so I walk up, and she just got an instant attitude. And I said, you know what, ma'am? I came over here to meet you because you're my son's counselor and he's starting the seventh grade this year. I said, but clearly there's a problem, so I'm just going to let it go. And she was like, oh, no, wait. She's like, I'm so sorry. She was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, but usually when a parent comes to talk to me, it's because there's a problem.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, now I can't be mad at her no more because
Right.
I see what she's saying, because I was hot at first, like, how dare you look at me like that? And I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm
Right.
trying to do what parents should be doing, and you looking at me crazy. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
Kara Warner in the chat saying some parents do not understand the importance of education. I'm thinking about. I feel like a lot of parents that I talk to, uh, not that I talk to, a lot of parents I'm getting a vibe from that they are thinking of education as failing their kids. First of all, they're not getting a great education, but they got to go to school.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents are feeling like a lot of parents kind of act like schools like the daycare center, not really
Man,
where they're getting educated.
man.
And so when you're approaching it that way, it's as long as they got to stay in school so I can be at work, you know what I'm saying, and they're going home thinking that we're not really getting much out of school in the first place, but you still got to go and you still got to do your thing, and so it makes sense to me, why, and most people don't even know how it works. I had no idea how the board, you're on the board, but how does that affect the school? What is it that you do? You're explaining it to us now, but like most people don't
Right.
know it.
And you're not alone. And so this is the reason why I've been working with the district to create these town halls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Because people don't know. I can tell by the emails that I get, or even when I'm out. Like, y'all know I'm part of the motorcycle community. I can be out and they be like, hey, like, I'm like, oh, Lord, I don't even do that, but they need some sort of support. Let me get them connected with the
Mm-hmm.
right. That usually ends up what I'm doing. I'm usually connecting people with the right people to talk to. But, like I tell the district, what I'm saying, I said, you have to create opportunity to build trust with community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a lot of lack of trust in community. Now, what I do find out is like, people know if they come to me with something, now I might take a couple of days and that's my bad, but your girl be busy, but you come to me with something, I'm going to go ask the question. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go try to figure out what's going on. And when I ask the question, typically I find out that they are aware and they're trying to do something. But I also find out that some of this stuff is rooted in, where we need to be supportive in community as well. But we are doing these town halls. And I sent you all the flyer for the town hall as well, I believe. But
Mm-hmm.
the first one is October 7th, and that's going to be at Buena Vista High School at 6 o'clock. The second one is going to be Jane Erdenberger, President Jane Erdenberger. That's going to be on the 14th of October at Norris. Mine is going to be October 23rd at Central. I shouldn't have made it at Central now that I think about it, but it's going to be at Central. And Jeannie Magnuson is having one November 11th at Buffett Middle School. Bree Full is still trying to figure out exactly where hers is going to be at, but she's going to be having one as well. And as of right now, we are the only school board members who are doing a town hall. I can't make somebody do one, so
Mm-hmm.
sorry. But right now, we're the only ones who are having town halls. But I sent the flyer to y'all. I'm also waiting on some graphics, like some non PDF ones that we can share too.
Okay, I appreciate that. So yeah, so I'm seeing. I'm not
Oh, I
finding that
should have
flyer.
told y'all. You don't see it.
I didn't see you send any information on the town halls. I got the public school district behavior discipline summary and the
Darn,
cube
I thought I
conference.
did. Well, I will.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought
let
I
me
did.
let me
I
jump
was
in the
up
chat.
late last night trying
Hey,
to
I know
get
you
stuff
were
together for this
getting
morning. I said,
getting
"Oh,
you
dang it! I gotta get up early and do this. I need some notes together."
No, it's all good. We wanted to get on here and set the precedent for how we're going to continue to talk to you about this stuff because we value you as one of the correspondents here when it comes to education. I want to jump in the chat real quick, just because a couple people are saying some things. Curtis J in the chat has said, unfortunately, some parents only see education as free daycare.
Mm-hmm.
To my point, also Miss Erica Phelps said, I feel middle school is where children get lost. The school's teachers specifically aren't culturally responsive nor trauma informed. Combine that with children who have hormones kicking in, and by the time they get to high school, they're discarded. I really want to figure out how to fix our violent middle schools. The good teachers are leaving because they're not supported at the school in trying to solve the problem. This is something that I've always said as well because I said at one point I wanted to be a teacher, but I always wanted to be a middle school teacher because that's where I felt like you catch kids. They go one way or another
Man.
around that
It's
time
definitely the
frame.
toughest space. I feel like. I think though that it really starts elementary. I remember
Nowadays it
when
does.
they had the shooting at Westroads where that young man was killed, and I had a teacher reach out to me from Miller Park, and she reached out to me on Facebook, and she said that she was the teacher of the young man who did it in the third grade, and she said I saw the signs then. And
Yeah.
she was
Hmm.
like, but how, and I've asked the question too, like, how do we equip teachers at that age? I mean,
Yeah.
at that level, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we see these signs way before then. I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
I definitely hear you, Erica. I think that's where it gets worse in middle school. I guess I would say.
Yeah, I used to think that the middle school was the time,
Me
and
too.
now that I'm looking at things these days, I'm thinking a little bit earlier than that, fifth and sixth grade, fourth and fifth grade even. Also, I
Even
just want to
fourth or
give Kara
fifth me
Warner some.
too. Clearly,
Just want to give Kara Warner a little minute here. She said, I was a truancy specialist for years at an OPS high school. When it came to time to apply for FAFSA, the parents did not understand the process and became upset when we asked for certain information. That's why I'm not sure some parents see the value. Also, a little earlier in the chat, she asked, she said, I have a lot of questions on how we can engage the youth in literary and performing arts. So maybe you guys can get together off outside in talk
outside of
about that.
birthday shenanigans,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because she came
Yeah.
out Wednesday.
Hey.
Oh, she came out. Yeah, I saw y'all out there having.
Nice, nice.
I was mad I couldn't make it. I was
We got
looking
the
at like, man,
choir going.
you making having some fun out there. I appreciate it. If you're just joining us again, it's 8:13. If you believe in the concept of time, we're with Kimara Snipes. She is on the OPS school board. Also, she is ED of One Omaha, executive director of One Omaha. Has been doing a great job of those jobs, just connecting neighborhoods, getting people resources, and in contextualizing, like Buddy was talking about earlier, your time at school and the things that you do for the babies as well, pulling it all into one.
You know what's
Before we
funny, buddy? I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you when I heard you talking about that earlier. When you do the Clifton Strengths Finder, context is my number two gift. So
Mm.
I appreciate it, and it probably makes sense now for some things.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
that's what we do. That's what we do.
Limited time here, just keeping track of time. I want to jump back over to Buddy. I know that you got some things on your mind. I want to make sure that you got time to ask the questions that you wanted to ask Miss Snipes before we get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we kind of touched on it, but just to ask directly, you did, as you mentioned, you were up late last night sending us documents. Um, and speaking of context, I wanted to put something we've already been talking about on the show in context, as far as the racial disparities that have been reported in OPS, where some of the numbers are, some of the truancy things that are being reported. Can you kind of give insight on that and a little more context?
I can definitely give you some more context into the stuff I sent you. I do want to let y'all know though, if people like want to show up at OPS on Monday, there's going to be a workshop, and they're going to be talking about the next strategic plan.
Nice. Okay.
And these are public meetings, okay? So you can show up there, and they're also going to be doing a committee of the whole. So I did just want to say that. Um, I sent Paul and Buddy a behavior and discipline report
Hmm.
that OPS went over earlier this year, and what it is it's like a district wide snapshot of student behavior. And also like the discipline used when things don't go the way they're supposed to. Everything from like classroom disruptions to the most serious incidents. Um, and so the top takeaways from the 2024 to the 2025 year is that there were like fewer suspensions overall, mostly concentrated, like we were just talking about, in middle school. Middle school has the highest rates of out of school suspension, in school suspension. I think the numbers for out of school suspension were 20.5% and in school 19.3. High school rates are lower with both, and elementary is the lowest. And one of the questions, shouts out to Bree Fool, raised is, does that have to do with the law that Leo Lewis and them organized for to prevent out of school suspensions for K through second graders? Um, Expulsions are uncommon and falling in numbers. The district expulsion rate is 0.6%. None in elementary, of course, and middle is almost like 1%. But still, when you ask them, it's still disproportionate in numbers. And this came up during a school board meeting. And if you go back and look at the last board meeting we have, I elevated again. I'm like, I appreciate professional development and all of that. But if we're not just talking about just cultural sensitivity, right? Because how many times did you hear the story of a young black man is a teacher in a classroom with young black kids in it, and you got a kid in there getting ready to crash out, you know what I'm saying? And he come in there and it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We do whatever, it's cool, right? But here's a maybe a white teacher who knows nothing about culture, you know what I'm saying? And it's not their fault, especially in Omaha, Nebraska. It's segregated as hell here, right? You know what I'm saying? So how many times do you hear these stories? And I'm trying to figure out where that disconnect is as well. Like when I say to you that you need cultural sensitivity training, that's not me saying to you that you're a bad person. That's not me saying to you that you're a racist. It's me saying to you that there are things that you don't understand because you have been limited to what you have been limited to in your life. So
Hmm.
let me open it up and explain it to you and show it to you. And I don't know why people can't absorb that. Probably because we got this administration out here, got people thinking that if you even mention the word diversity, you're whatever it is they think about us.
Well, let me
But
jump in. Let me jump in
I
because I actually kind of have a little bit of a theory on this. The our school system, not just in Omaha but all around the country, is dominated by white women. That's all. Most of us have mostly teachers that were white women, and so when you're talking about how the disconnect, you're talking about the disconnect because they don't really most of, if that's the norm, then it's an offshoot for them to have to do anything to understand a smaller group of people like young black boys, for instance. And this is something that's been very prevalent for years and years and years. I was just talking to my sister, who's now a teacher in the system now, and saying that too is still dominated there. And the sensitivity training is like a it's like extra homework for people when you're thinking that this is the norm. What we're doing is the norm, and this small group of people over here that we got to try to figure out how to work with is too much of a problem and an issue. When I was speaking
Extra
earlier
homework.
about and when I was speaking earlier about junior high being that moment of where a kid can go one way or another, that's what I was thinking of. I got lucky enough to have a black male teacher in sixth grade and a black male teacher in seventh grade, and that is exactly what you described. Was when if I'm crashing out on something, Mr. Mack, and it was sixth grade, Mr. Mack would come in and just be like, "Hey man, just chill out," and it was a done deal. Whereas I was scary to all the other older white lady teachers that were there. It was very difficult to have a teacher that was a older white lady that understood where I was personally coming from. So
You
I
just flashed me back. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
I was in middle school, and Kimara Snipes today ain't Kimara Snipes who I always been.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I got arrested, taken to jail, handcuffs behind my back in middle school. You know what I'm
man,
saying? But I did have a black counselor, Mrs. Frampton. You know what I'm saying? I remember her pulling me into the office a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? And having a talk with me. You know what I'm saying? Not
right,
getting in trouble, not calling my mama.
right,
You know what I'm saying? But having a
right.
talk with me. You
Not
know what I'm
scared of
saying?
you,
And I'll never forget her. It's crazy. I even remember her name because I can't remember none of my teachers' name from middle school. But I remember Mrs. Frampton. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And she was that. You don't know what these kids got going on at home. They didn't know what I had going on at home.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And just like we don't either. And we walk past these kids, we don't look at them, we don't smile at them. We think because they got their pants sagging, there's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
some of these kids, I had a kid that was working with the library, just like that. Chap will tell you, hey, that's the one you got to watch out for. You got a knife on him right now. You know what I'm saying? But sleeping from house to house. I gave him a notebook. I told them kids we was gonna learn how to be a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. He wanted to be the secretary. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And through that, I learned that he could draw. He wanted to be a tattoo artist. He was intelligent. He had dreams. He had vision. And that's all these kids.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
always nurturing it. You know what I'm saying? Because and parents, and I want to say this too, like, they dealing with what they dealing with as well. And a lot of this stuff goes back to white supremacy. So, we sit here mad at parents, you know what I'm saying, for the things that they are doing or not doing, but we're not talking about the root. And how unfair is that? So I feel you when we say parents don't care, but I encourage you to think about the fact that mental health is real. And when you are beaten up by a system for generations, and there is generational trauma, this is what happens. And so I don't necessarily blame parents, even when they get on the phone talking real tough to me, say they to come up to the library. Okay, I'll be here. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that it's rooted in something else. So maybe it's the Libra anyway, in me. Shouts out to all my Libras.
Hey,
You know
hey,
what I'm
hey,
saying?
balance some skills.
But I put myself in somebody else's shoes.
You got
yeah.
to.
I
You,
try
you
to
have to.
understand. Yeah.
Even that thing you just said about that young
I'm gonna
kid
send you
that
this list of stuff I had because I know y'all gonna kick me off. No, I'm just
look. I
But
was
I
going to say
do have a list of stuff I want to share with y'all. I do have one thing I want to say about one Omaha before we do go.
yeah, and if you can get a hold of that flyer too, people
Yeah,
are in the chat asking for that. Just tell me where to go get it. I can try to grab it right now.
Here,
Uh,
it should be on the school website, I imagine. But I ain't even looked there. I'll be very honest. Like,
yeah,
I think about communications a little differently than OPS communications person does.
we'll find it.
So,
We'll find it. Looks like Buddy
but
found
yeah,
something
I want
here.
to share something on Friends of. Thank you, Marlon.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, okay. So before we get out of here, just want to throw it back to you, really, Kira, and just the things that we need to be looking out for next. Some action items. Some you know how we try to roll some
yes,
solutions at the end.
yes,
What it is that we can do, how we can support you, and then of course we got the information now. We needed the dates and stuff to your town halls, but looks like we got it. But let us know about what we can do there, and then yes, please lay some one Omaha on us. What are you guys up to right now as well?
Well, I mean, one thing, if it's one thing for the district to hear from me talking about cultural sensitivity, but we do have public comment. You know what I'm saying? Where other people can come and talk about things as well. If administration hears from community more about it, and not in this space, but actually at a meeting where it could be on public record, maybe that'll encourage them to do something a little bit differently. At One Omaha, I'm going to be announcing some news at the beginning of the year. I can't do it yet, but like I'm so excited, y'all. We've
Nice.
been busting our butts over there. Hopefully you have also been seeing One Omaha on social media. Alex O'Hanlon, who was our engagement manager, we've been doing some reels about our One Omaha mini grant that is open right now.
Mhm.
If you get two other people together just to do a resident-led project in your neighborhood, people have ideas about fun things they can do, block party, national night out, whatever it is. You can apply for funding with One Omaha. We also have our mini grant workshop happening on September. Oh, it already happened, but we have our mini grant application open right now, and I think it goes until October 15th. It's a really easy application. Alex O'Hanlon, our engagement manager, has been killing these reels,
Yeah, she
and
is.
she can also help you ideate. I can help you ideate. But the grant application is designed to be simple because we want people to get this experience when it comes to writing for grants. My first time ever writing a grant, I learned through One Omaha. Fun story, I was looking at my wall the other day. The first award I ever got was from One Omaha in 2016.
Wow.
It's a plaque sitting on my wall, and I was like, wow, like look at that, almost 10 years ago. But so yeah, we encourage you to follow us on social media, sign up for our newsletter. We finna be rocking. We already rocking and rolling, but we finna be rocking and rolling even more. We finished up our strategic plan. It's super amazing. When I got to One Omaha, we were giving away $2,000 in mini grants. We gave away $10,000 last year, trying to fundraise for some more. We're going to have our mini grant award ceremony on December 2nd. So hopefully y'all come join us. We're finalizing the location right now. But yeah, sign up for our newsletter. And if you don't want to, oh no, today is my birthday, and I don't need no gift. If you want to donate, though, go donate to One Omaha. I'm going
There
to
you
encourage
go.
you to do that.
There you go.
Appreciate you. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other we had Chad Stoner the other night. Any other parties you got going on this week?
I'm gonna be at Ghost Donkey tonight. Me and Lacey decide we're just gonna kind of just go on in there and take that over real quick.
Shout out to
Might
Lacey.
as well. Yeah, it's your girl's birthday today.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't even see the shirt. Nice, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then tomorrow night I'm gonna do my MC thing. We have an all white party every year. Clothes,
I
yeah.
like
Clothes.
how when you was on your live, you was like clothes, not people. I was like,
Well, somebody asked me that one time. I was like,
it sounds funny when you say it. We're gonna have an all white party. I mean, all white people gonna be
somebody
there.
just walked past the windows like, "Happy birthday."
Nice.
But,
Well, so where you said Ghost Donkey? I never even heard of this spot.
it's
Ghost
on
Donkey.
Ninth and Harney. Yeah, I'm telling you, boy. Lacey be have me all these places I ain't never heard of. I'm like, girl,
Should be outside.
yeah, I thought I was outside. Yeah,
Well, we gonna catch you outside. We really appreciate you getting up early amidst all your celebrations and coming and saying what's up to us.
of course. I
And
like y'all.
we got to do it again soon. As a matter of fact, we got to get back to that what's good in the hood thing we do on a
Oh,
regular.
Hey.
so funny story, right? So last night I was going to do my notes. I said, you know what? I had a folder for this, and the name of the folder is "What's Good in the Hood."
Yeah.
That funny.
Yeah, we got to get
Forgot
back
about
to it.
that. Yeah.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day and night and week, and we will see you very very soon.
Bye, everybody.
Peace, peace. Enjoy
See
your
you
day.
later.
Thank you.
Oop, I
Hey,
accidentally cut her
can you
off.
cut her thank yous off?
Yeah. Shout out Brooke and Zane in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys
Hey.
coming through this morning. Good morning to y'all. And yeah, thank you, Kimra. I'm sorry I cut you off there a little bit at the end. Wait, did she come back? I was it looked like she might have come back and like, yeah, you cut me off. No,
Tell you
not
off.
again.
Get told off, Paul.
Come back in and tell us off.
Mm-hmm.
It is what is it, 8:28 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Got about another half hour left in the show and a few more things to catch up on. If you missed any parts of Kimra's interview, then please go back to YouTube, check it out, like and subscribe while you're over there. I forgot to ask everybody to share the show on Facebook too. It's easy to share on your page
Yeah.
if you would share the show. You can do it after the fact too, because after these get done, then they go up and you can watch them in its entirety. I highly suggest you check out the chat in both Facebook and YouTube because we got people chatting from both sides and very very good comments and questions and everything. I really really appreciate that very much. Pop says babies are born colorblind. Their prejudices and outlooks are pretty much learned at home. Nurture, not nature.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always going to be a thing. Also, Marianne Williams earlier said 100%, Paul, it's so important to have more melanated teachers in order to have those understand melanated issues, but also for white kids to see POC as authority figures and worthy of respect. Yeah, this is
Man.
very much a
Man.
thing for that to happen as well. So I appreciate that. Also, Curtis J in the chat earlier says years of indoctrination have led us here to accepting this as just status quo. We need to call it out just like this. I totally appreciate that sentiment in a real way. Also, Heather Williams says it's really just my son, and I was able to get. Let's see, she said something earlier. Maybe let's see.
No, I was thinking I didn't see.
Didn't see anything. She says it's really just my son, and I was able to get a mentor for him through teammates. Oh, I forgot about teammates. Someone at school saw that they were losing him. I had to deal with my pride and work with them. Now he's a senior at Central and college, and college is his future. In his future, we had to make our own support system.
Man, big time.
Perfect example of what we're talking about. It's tough on the parents, but that's why families need support as well to really try to help get there very much. So I appreciate that. I didn't get to ask your question, Marlon. Can you talk about and explain Rocket to the Moon about reading on grade level by 2030? I apologize for that. We'll get with her next time. We'll bring her back and definitely talk about that for sure. In
Yeah.
that way.
Appreciate that
RG,
question.
yeah, very good question. I forgot all about that too. Of course, I'm surprised I remember anything this morning. I'm
Man.
tired, boss. Tired. RG said, "Hey man, Mr. Little John back at McMillan in the early 1990s was a beast as a middle school core teacher." Talking
Man.
about, see,
Yeah.
man,
I've been lucky. I've been blessed to have black principals at pretty much every school I went to.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Friesen. Shout out to
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Gene Haynes. Yeah, brother man Haynes,
the main Haynes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. We have to talk more. We got to talk more about that, and that's definitely the case. I was talking to my sister the other day, who's also a teacher now too. We were just talking about she hitting the realities of how teachers get treated and
Oh
what
yeah.
and the low pay and everything else is going on with teachers. It's a tough field to get into, and now you almost got to have a doggone master's degree to be a teacher in a lot of places now. So on top of that, you got a bunch of education debt that you got to deal with, and and it's just not a it's not a sexy a field to get into with the state of things.
Yeah.
And nowadays you got to deal with school shootings and kids cracking on you on top of that. So like you got to be a special kind of person to really even jump into the scene there, man. And there's so many other options, so many other ways to try to help kids after school. I just talked to somebody yesterday about that. They're trying to get a job in OPS as the after school monitor person because she said these kids get suspended, mostly black kids. They get suspended, they get detentions, and they be after school in detention. And if you are become a person that is the person that sits there for that, you can create your own programming. She says, I'm gonna have them kids outside doing stuff. I'm gonna have them kids having, introduced into some nature. She says, I can make my own little bit of curriculum there for that detention classes after school. And I can bridge that gap between they're in school acting up, they go to detention, then they got to go home. She goes, I can open them up to something there. So she's seeing a solution that is beyond being a teacher and still supporting some kids in OPS some kind of way. So like, there's so many things that people are trying to come up with just to get to that point where they can be there for the kids and do something for the kids. It's crazy.
It's necessary. I mean, we're talking about spaces and places, and Sister Kimra hit it right on the head. Like, again, space is the place. It is not just about talking about physical or even abstract places, but it's talking about time. The idea that again, we dare to envision a future where we exist in a present where everything seems hell bent on making sure we don't exist. That's what this is about. And that's wholeheartedly about our youth. It's about our children. Like, it's very cliche, but it's very true. They are the future. Are we investing in our future? Is society made to make sure children are flourishing? It seems like we kind of push our children to the side to fall into this cogwheel. And, you know, that's kind of when Sister Kimara, you know, talks about white supremacy. I mean, it's hard to talk about in the sense that at times it does feel like you're pulling the black card. You know what I mean? Or it feels like you always want to point at white supremacy, but we got to talk about it.
We live in that system, so how can we not? And really, we only are tripping when we talking about we feel like we talking about it too much, and that's only because we feel like white people think we talking about it too much. We talk about it with other black folks. We ain't talking about it too much because we know we live in that system, and we're gonna talk about it all the time because we trying to figure a way out.
That's it. That's it. And you talked about earlier, I don't know if you mentioned it before the show or on the show about you had a conversation with your sister about making a school.
Yes.
And we've been talking about that
conversation. Right.
And again, I think back to John D. Rockefeller and what is the point of public schools?
It's a no. Everybody knows it's to create the cogs for the wheel.
And we talk about parents, like my children had a curriculum day yesterday. I didn't go. Why? Because I had to work.
Right.
And my daughter was crying. Like she wanted to go. So there are parents who actually do understand that education is important and want to be there for their children, but they got to work. They tired.
Still got to work.
That's the reality. In addition to the parents who don't care. In addition to the parents who don't understand that's a reality as well. But
in addition to the parents that are not there, some of them, you know, single family homes, foster care kids.
So moving along in this conversation, again, it brings me to what is the point of government? What are they doing? Taking our money to do what with it? Why are we, what are we doing? Like, this is what are we doing? Just in life, in society, in America, what are we doing? This makes no sense. We go to work to pay taxes for them to do what with it? To steal it? They're not giving it to us, and when we ask for it, they act like we begging
to get
our money back that we worked for. Like, how is this not slavery? What are we doing? This is maddening. It really is, because I'm an intelligent person and I cannot figure this out. Please tell me, am I tripping? And you don't think the children don't see this?
I mean, this is what capitalism is built on. As soon as you say that, you're thinking we got to have servants and slaves and a lower class and a dumb population and everything else so we can be exploited.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I had to jump out my seat when she talked about white supremacy and education. Because to your point, why do you think that people look at school like it's just a daycare? Because they know they bullshitting our kids. Because if you told them real education, they'll figure out that white people ain't really white people. And black people ain't really black people. Like, just really think about the nonsense that we push in this country. What is a white person? What is a black person? Does my skin look black to you? What are we doing? This is madness. And how long are we going to push this bullshit agenda? Like,
and it's getting worse.
Yeah. Point in case. Thank you. Let me get off my soapbox and jump into the article to move forward.
Before we do that, let's take a little breather. I want to make sure that
smell
we
the coffee beans.
Smell the coffee beans for a minute. Miss Kara Warner in the chat says Miss Jackson and Mountain View, black principals were not scarce back in the day.
Man,
that's interesting to hear because I did not go to school here growing up, so I'm hearing about all these black principals. That's unheard of where I'm from.
Bro, let me
go ahead.
I gotta break it to you. I had Dr. Skinner, had Dr. Friesen, had Dr. Haynes. I had I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was the principal at Howard Kennedy, another black man. He was my first grade teacher. His wife was my teacher.
That's crazy. I ain't never.
At some point, we got to address that because Dr. Skinner, there was an intention to go to HBCUs. At one point, I heard this story. I haven't really done my research into it, but I've seen the effects of it. I'm a product of it. There, at some point, there was an intent to go to the South to find black men to bring them back to Omaha to teach.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this. Yes.
Dr. Skinner was a part of that. Man, rest in peace to Mr. Wiley. All of these black men are why I am who I am today.
Wow.
So
Marlon Harrison in the chat says the reason why I wanted to work with kids is because I had awesome black male teachers and principal in elementary school. Case in point. Kara Warner says we also need to begin supplementing curriculum at home.
Yep.
Parents cannot 100% rely on the school system for their education.
Because they won't teach the real education. It relies on whitewashing to keep this madness going.
I don't have kids, and I can't imagine me having kids and going, y'all got to go to school because, you know, I got to go to work, and I know you ain't learning nothing there, and I'll do the best I can tonight at 9, 10 o'clock tonight to help you really learn something for real.
After I'm tired.
And also help you with the BS homework that you got to do.
And also cook for you because you got to eat.
Frustrating. I can't even imagine, bro. Also, Marlon Harrison says we also got more to have more diverse programs. Need to have more diverse programs, not just sports, but also in the arts, history, STEM, and reading, to name a few. Also, Kara Warner says this entire system to keep us dumbed down for real. Majee Miller Jenkins says the reality is both the work and school systems are designed to keep us separated and uninspired.
Yeah.
Not to mention both of them, especially the school system, is really designed after the prison system, so everything is really looking the same.
And you think the kids don't see that? Preschool to prison pipeline.
They right. I'm not going to get through all the points here, but I appreciate that very much. Also, Miss Erica Felt came back. She says, in North had Mr. Wiley, and black school counselor that loved the kids. He pretty much saved my firstborn. So let's not forget about the counselors as well.
Mr. Wiley is the reason I got out of Nebraska specifically.
He's the one who told you got to get going.
He was my school counselor when I was applying for college. He is the reason I went to Florida A&M University. He is the reason why that man changed my life. You don't understand. I was facing 20 years in prison when I was working with Mr. Wiley.
And he came through.
Y'all don't understand what these kids are going through and who they need. These kids are doing what they doing because they have nobody.
And you have a loving family and still needed that help. We all need all the help. We need all the help. I can imagine, man, being you know what I'm saying, being out here in foster care trying to get, like, it takes everybody. Black Dynamite is in the chat saying Boone, Perry, Mount View, and Verdius, Perry, Mount View, and my mom at Central. Naming some more black educators that help. Pop says, I said it before, I'll say it again. We are all in the middle of a crooked card game, and that explains our frustrations. Kara Warner says, I was able to be homeschooled my son for 3 years, and it was one of the best decisions. Yeah, there's been some homeschooling in my family as well, for real.
Same.
And I was excited about that conversation I had with my sister about creating a school because of the fact that was my first school. My grandfather had a school that he put together in California. The first 3 years of my schooling happened in a private school that my grandfather owned, and that made the difference for me about who it is that I am. I didn't hit public school till 4th grade, and I came with a totally different way of thinking in 4th grade than I'm sure everybody else did because of that. So when I think my first go-to is always, well, we just need to make our own school, and it's because of my upbringing and employ the people. Where my mom was my first grade teacher. My grandmother, my dad was teaching high school. My grandmother was teaching high school, or one of them. They were all in the building. My aunt was the receptionist. My grandfather was the principal in the principal's office.
Man,
so by the time I got to 4th grade and then 5th grade, in the public school system at that point, it was very, very difficult until I got to the 6th grade and Mr. Mack. And finally another black man teacher that sent me in a different direction. So it is what it is, man. I appreciate that. Mr. Erica says my son wouldn't go to class, and Mr. Wiley got him into UNO where he felt respected and graduated.
Man, rest in
Respect.
peace to Mr. Wiley, man.
Anthony Rogers Rice says get rid of standardized tests. They don't measure intelligence, and they were created by white supremacists at Princeton University. We talk about them tests all the time, and yes, they were created to be slanted in the first place. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who's contributing to this part of the conversation. I think we're on the same page in a big way on this one, and I appreciate it. It is 8:44 right now. Let's smell the coffee beans. We'll come back and jump into this article that Buddy's talking about. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Y'all done woke me up.
Man, okay.
All Beeee, Buddy to Gawd.
Hey.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Living in the HIC. Brothers all surrounding me. Ain't no futures here. Just lies full of pain and fear. Time for a different stroke. I'm tired always being broke. Me and just about all my folks. Tired of being without hope. So it's time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddy to Gawd, another hot one.
Hey.
If you miss any parts of this show, please go back and check it out on YouTube. Like and subscribe while you're over there. Very good conversation we had with Miss Kimara Snipes. I'm so happy that she came on today. We'll have to have her back. We used to have a regular segment with her called "What's Good in the Hood." She used to come on every Monday, and we never ran out of things that we needed to discuss. Man. And notes and going over her notes for every meeting she goes to. Boost to the roots all through town all the time. So. And shout out, man. I feel like her life is a big is a big contextual idea of we gotta be there for the babies. Like that goes for the neighborhood work she's doing, that goes for the political stuff she's done, that goes for the school board stuff she's done. You know, everything ties together, it seems to me, and that's where it's centered around for her. It seems to me. I'm not trying to speak for her, but from my observation, I feel like that's where it starts. That's why she's interested in this. And she had a family that she came up with that got her interested in politics and got her in motion. And then she applied that when she had her child and was like, you know, I want things to be good for my child. So I want things to be good for all the babies. And you know, she's highly, like we said, a highly sensitive person, an empath. And how do you look and see what's going on with kids and not feel something and not want to do something about it if you have the power to do it? So appreciate her. Definitely go back and check out her interview. And I really appreciate everybody that's come in and talked about this as well. Coming in with some facts as well. I think Roger's right. Key factors include highly educated teachers with master's degrees, extensive individual and special education support, free tuition and higher education. I focus on play-based learning for young kids. Definitely play-based learning for young kids for sure. Yeah, man. I appreciate all your comments. I want to go, not take any more time away from jumping into the story that Buddy set up for us, but thank you so much for this. And we will definitely have to contemplate the things that you're putting in the chat. I highly suggest you go back to Facebook and YouTube and look at all the chat comments. Yeah, this is a powerful one, and because of your comments as well, I really appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate that. And you know, to kind of camel back on what Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is saying about education, it kind of reminds me of a comment. You know, I'm a big history buff. It definitely helps me with contextualizing things. And was watching Grits and Eggs podcast. He had what is her name? She just had the comedian. She just had to sit down with the 20 conservatives. I'm drawing a blank on her name.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But anyway, she drew a comparison. Amanda Seals. Thank you.
Amanda Seals, yeah.
Amanda Seals was a guest on the show, and she drew a comparison between Trump and Reagan, which was very interesting. The fact that Reagan, not in his presidency run, but in his run for the governor of California, ran on Make America Great Again. And one of the first things they did once he became the governor of California was raise the rate of colleges, make colleges more expensive,
More elite.
Make the barrier to education more prevalent. For who and for what? Do we need to talk about the California prison system? Do we need to talk about how SWAT was implemented? And again, Reagan's run was directly off the heels of the civil rights movement, was directly on the heels of the voting. It was actually the next year, if not the same year.
Yeah. He actually put Angela Davis in prison. Was trying to get her convicted. That's when all that went down, when he was governor of California.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, one, of course, we're not giving a actual education because you will learn about those things and you'll see the play being ran on us right now. First of all. Two, it's no secret the connection to education and the ability to secure a job and ability to sustain oneself. So when you see politicians limiting access to education, banning books, making it hard to get a valuable, real, actual education, your eyes should raise. Your eyebrows should raise even more when they start to, in addition to attack our education, attack our dollars. Which is why I'm very skeptical about what's going on with this TANF program. Again, the Trump administration has selected Nebraska to be one of 6, I believe. One of 5 states to participate in a 6-year pilot program. Those other states include Iowa, Arizona, Ohio, Virginia. Again, the pilot program is on TANF, which is temporary assistance for needy families. The program currently is a federal block grant that provides cash and other support to eligible low-income families with children. The average grant per household is about $466, not enough. And Nebraska has about a 60-month lifetime limit, according to the State Department of Health and Human Services. Again, shout out to a friend of First Guy, Sister Miss Erica Felt, for sharing this story with us. And she had actually pretty interesting comment with the story. She says it doesn't say what the changes will be. What I do know is currently you have to have 0 income to receive, which we could talk about that. Any money and a single mother of one gets only $408 monthly. If your child gets a limited 2-month payment of $398 from Social Security due to COVID-19, then you get nothing and are told they didn't think you want to bother with a $10 difference. Unless you are on Section 8, you will be eventually homeless as a parent with no income. So again, shout out to Sister Erica Felt. When we're talking about these youth and talking about, again, what our families dealing with, you look at, resources. And I asked the question, what is the point of government? And ideally, it would be to support and maintain and manage programs like this. But again, shout out to the Reader and the former team at the Reader for the work that they did. One of the reporters actually, uncovered the fact that there's millions of dollars just sitting in this TANF coffer, and they're not doing anything with it, and actually giving families more red tape, making it again harder for families to do and really sustain themselves. And again, the changes with this pilot program really won't impact that. The premise of the pilot is to explore different and better ways to essentially be more paternal. Paul, you will love to hear this. Apparently, the pilot program is to explore better ways to gauge the outcome of TANF spending. Something better than the work participation rate that they're using right now, which is the current measure. Apparently, the work participation rate is the share of work eligible recipients engaged in accountable work. So again, you got to be, applying for jobs, going for training, volunteerism, things like that. As a pilot program, the state will now start with the end goal in mind, a job. And she says Nebraska will have the flexibility to redesign this program to best meet new benchmarks related to increased employment and earnings, reduced dependency, and improved family sustainability. But again, when you take in effect things like the cliff effect and people who have jobs, 2-3 jobs, and still can't sustain themselves, is this really helping?
That's a good question.
On top of what are they doing with the millions of dollars that are still sitting there?
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Erica Felt. She says, imagine buying diapers, baby supplies, basic hygiene, cleaning supplies, gas for the car, basic monthly expenses with just $408 in your name. We won't discuss insurance, rent, etc. Is this helping? Does it help any at all in the first place? And is it any real help? And then it's a limited amount of time, and from what I understand too, they're only gonna there's a lifetime limit on how many months of help you get.
60.
So, that's not account for other times in life later on down the line. Maybe you're in trouble again, you need some help from our tax dollars. We're not gonna get it if you used it up. So a lot to it. Somebody's just said, Mama Guy said that sounds like $100 boost from a welfare check.
That's pretty much it. McGee Miller Jenkins kind of reading my mind, hitting the nail on the head. She says, please read Poverty by America. First Guy Book Club. I don't know. This will make so much more sense. The industry of poverty is extremely profitable for the 1%, which is, essentially what we plan on talking about and touching on with the benevolent illusion conversation. Again, these realities are created intentionally. The system is working the way it's set up to work. It's just not set up to work for us. So again, eventually we got to really start talking about building new systems and tearing the system that we are currently in down.
Right.
And how to do that. And, it's up to us.
Tony Johnson says Bill Clinton is actually the cause for why they can even do this with TANF. So I'll put some origins of that. TANF is the welfare check. Yeah, this tough. We talk about a lot of different things here, and we talk to certain communities. A lot of people expect that when we talk to the Black community, and this is all we sit around and talk about is welfare checks. Somebody actually even said that to me.
Really?
Yeah, because like I said, man, I'm when I'm out and about, I'm talking to people and tell them what we do and how we are concentrating on Black and brown individuals, especially, and that we do, and we're out of North Omaha. That's the first thought. So, first of all, when anybody comes on here, you can tell them, you Chad Chimers, Ghost Sisters, you can tell them about how many other things we get into. But we can't leave out some of the things that does help some of the people that are in the worst shape, that people need the most help. Don't know if that's the audience. So this is for the audience that can take this information and pass it on and try to help some folks, because I'm not really sure if those folks are even watching the show and hearing about these types of things. This is for us to try to figure out. First of all, vote on. First of all, figure out how to change, how to talk to the powers that be and the legislators to make some changes around here. First of all, to rally up everybody who understands what the stakes are here and get them down to talk to their representatives and try to make some changes. And then to know that these things are coming, and to know that people who are applying for stuff like TANF may need some help, because TANF ain't gonna help them. There's a lot of solutions that can come out of us understanding what these moves being made here for the people that really need it. So that's I wanted to think about that too and acknowledge that as well. Like, we don't talk a lot about these types of things, but when this kind of information comes out, we definitely have to mention it, because we are trying to serve the people who are in some of the worst shape, some of the poorest places in Omaha, some of the poorest neighborhoods in Omaha, some of the people that are in really bad shape. Not that they're the ones watching, but they may be. But the point is, what can we do now that we know it?
Mm-hmm.
How can we help now that we know it? And we always got to get to this point in the show where we got to do for self. So what does this mean? You're not making enough money at 401 or 408 a month per kid to do anything. So support has to happen beyond this in the first place. We can spend our energy fighting, which is a lane. We can also spend our energy compensating and helping and moving past that. So even if people are in bad shape, they can get the help. That's another lane. And all the lanes got to run at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got to.
Man, got to.
Yep. Lanes of change. That's essentially our answer. After years of doing this and coming up with it, one, recognizing that, in the words of Senator McKinney, like, even if you have a politician in position doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're only a representative of you. So what are you doing? What are you giving them to represent?
Big time.
You know,
Regine Miller Jenkins, understanding why all of these things are happening by understanding the poverty industry is key to building better.
mm-hmm.
Just
You
building
gotta,
better, period.
man. But you know, so that's the essential. You know, the goal of this show is one to understand the what, and then to get to the why, and then you know, collectively try to figure out how to get through this, because that's the only way we're going to get through it is collectively. So yeah, big shout out to those who have boots to the roots, who know their lane and is running in their lane. Again, if you are unfamiliar, the 7 lanes are strategic communication, political power, financial or economic power, coalition building, cultural placemaking, artistic resistance, and grassroots action.
Gotta happen. What lane are you in? We want to talk to you about it in the coming weeks. Let us know what lane you think you're in when it comes to that. We'll put something out on Friends. We'll put something out everywhere that breaks down each lane, and then we'll talk about it. And along when we do this Lanes of Change series, you might be included in that if you're in a specific lane. We're trying to figure it out. All these lanes are needed in order to make any kind of significant change. That's what this is all about. And the problem is being able to work together. I think our whole situation, especially in Omaha, especially in North Omaha, is being able to coincide, work together, stay in our particular lanes, and then work next door with somebody else instead of always bumping heads and not having any coalition building going on. So
Man,
this is our attempt to help some of that. Definitely check out the latest episode with our further conversation with Mary Ewing. It's on YouTube right now. When you get over there, like, subscribe, hit the bell for the next ones that are coming. But we're going to continue this series for a while to the end of the year. As a matter of fact, Lanes of
yep.
Change, Elements of Revolution is happening now. Definitely go check it out. Give it a like if you would. And watch out. We'll be in contact with some, especially some of you chat chimers out here, because you guys are really in some of these lanes in a hard way.
Oh
So
yeah, big time.
we definitely want to talk to you and talk to you about your lane and figure out how we can do some coalition building here.
Man, Maggie Miller Jenkins, you kind of hitting the nail on the head. Again, been on point on show. She says we need to organize, maybe starting with the book club. She says they don't outnumber us, they out organize us.
Man,
Man, you
we
know,
say it all the time. So
yeah, man, you know, it's true. You know, we talk about Project 2030 and all of these projects, like they are organizing and planning decades in advance while creating a circumstance where we have to survive day to day.
message.
Man,
That's it, folks. 901. Leaving the concept of time. End of the show. We appreciate everybody joining us and all the great comments. I did see a little earlier, I think it was Maggie Miller Jenkins that said you're not able to see the comments on YouTube. Not sure why. We go through this from time to time. I think it's fixed to come back and you can't see them. Yeah, it's a situation. We're actually having to put some plans in place to change some things up so we can own more of our content. It is going to be on different places that we do this eventually, because there's no telling what's going to happen with these social media channels. And there's already been changes that has erased some of the discussions that we've been having over the years. The videos have disappeared off of Facebook, for instance. So there's a lot going on, and YouTube acts funny too when it comes to comments. It acts funny when it comes to content. We are working with the Broligarchs,
man,
the
MAGA,
Broligarchs toys right now with what we're doing. So
MAGA, Meta, Apple, Google, Amazon.
straight up. So yes, we're working on doing something where we can have the conversation without the interruption and without the mess, and that'll be coming soon as well. So don't forget, Mija, if a tortilla can rise, so can you. Let's all rise together. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Yeah. We can do it. We can do it, man. Big shout out to Sister Kimara, who's already doing it. You know, definitely an inspiration, even doing it on her birthday. So thank you for taking the time. Please enjoy yourself. You know, celebrate, Sister Kimara. You got so much work to do, and you're doing so much work. It is good to kind of take a break, smell the flowers, re-energize, get back to it, man. So again, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Of course, RG, I see you. Speaking of celebration, Bud's Parade is tomorrow, so let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate the champ. Yeah, man, and let the people know we whooping feet by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Yeah.
Hey, do Clarice Dombeck's a suggestion, man. If you go into the Bud Crawford thing, take the bus. Check out some local transit. They transit authority folks is working hard over there.
Man,
Here's some of the routes near the parade: Orbit 11, 13, 15, 18, 24, and 30, all within a block or two of the parade route. You don't want to drive your car down there, try to find parking, get out and walk blocks and blocks to get to the parade.
yeah, man.
Try your Orbit. It's a good time to do it. Appreciate that very much,
Yeah.
man. You guys are going awful over this chat. I love it. Magic Miller Jenkins. Choose your lanes of chain pole.
I love it. I love it.
Aha.
Aha.
One down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks
Bob
for that
says-
idea.
For real. Bob says, thanks for another week of great shows. Please have a phenomenal weekend and see you all on Monday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Pops.
Amen.
Appreciate you. Yes, Mr. Confessor, I've never been able to see him on YouTube. Yeah, man. I think as soon as I think they're fixed and I can see him, I'm like, does that mean the other people can or can't? This is a hot mess. It's like we really got to make some changes on that because we are subject to these social media channels and we're messing us up in a big way. Anthony Rogers right. Majie is right. And we need to know what the word organized actually means and not just use it for whatever in anything and everything.
Word up. On that note, I had one last thought. I was talking to a friend about all of this stuff, creating change, and we got to build infrastructure. Keep that in mind, y'all. We got to build infrastructure. Think the Montgomery bus boycott was 2 years. How do you take away something without having something to replace it with?
You know what they built in them 2 years?
What they build?
The jitney. Because they started calling each other for rides and carpooling. They invented carpooling. They invented the jitney. They invented all those things from the bus boycott. So they just did not take the bus. They also built a whole nother industry.
We can do it, y'all. We all we got. But that's enough.
Like eggs and grits be talking about, we are our ancestors.
Man, that part. That part, without doubt or contradiction, man. So again, we love y'all. We thank y'all. Catch the same time, same place. Get outside. Let's live alive with one another. Love on each other. Come back Monday. Let's do it again. In the meantime, between time, Paul B. Take it away, man.
Take it away, man. I'm gonna leave you with the celebration. The whole city celebrating this, man. Putting Omaha on the map in a big way. Definitely see you out there. So be safe and let's make it a good one. This is time to celebrate. We got a lot of bad stuff going on, but it's also time to celebrate at the same time. We can hold them both, and we will do that. Shout out to Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, with all the great things that we talked about today, allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate your comments, your questions for Kimara, your shout outs for her. Your time that you spent respectfully hearing what she had to say. And we really, really appreciate that. Special guest on Monday. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back. And in the meantime, between time, we'll see you at the celebration, man. It's going down.
Hey, cancer screening.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I appreciate that very much. So many haps right now. I can't even keep track of them all.
Yeah, I just want to say that. We can get out of here.
Nah, I'm trying to find the thing now. Where's it? There it is. One Stop Shop. Cancer screening. Get your cancer screening on. That's also happening tomorrow and 9:30, between 9:30 and 1:30. I think we'll probably be at the parade tomorrow, so we might have to hit that November 1st one. But yeah, man, shout out to RG One Stop Cancer Shop, letting us know about this. Definitely go get checked for sure. Cancer screening. This happens from time to time. Just keep your eye on it. We'll definitely talk about the next one coming up November 1st as well. So stay tuned for that.
And yes, Black Dynamite, bring back the jitney.
Yeah, man. I'm tired of calling Uber.
Come on, man.
Yeah. We still got jitney stands around here. Where the jitneys at? So you know what it is a lot of the jitney drivers are now cats that you just know on your phone. Like, yo, I need a ride. You driving?
Man.
So yeah, got to get going. Mr. Eric Fell says, go get your cancer screening on for real.
Hey.
Cancer survivor right here in the chat.
Man, warrior. Yeah.
Warrior. All right, you warriors, we're going to get out of here. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
Weekly wrap. Look out. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red